Hey guys, Megaerator here, back with another video. I know I haven't made a video in 6 months, but I've been pretty busy with school and stuff, so I guess I'll just come back with this. It's a deck profile of my Yosenju deck that I've been testing for quite a bit. The monster and spell lineup is heavily influenced by what's played in the OCG, and also in the OCG they actually do not play MST. They play Shared Ride instead, which is let me bring that up. Shared Ride, it's a counter card. It's like the maxi for Necros, I guess, because it stops all their search. Well, not stopping all the searching, but it lets you plus off all their searching. And in the OCG, Necros is basically the only thing that's played. But I didn't put it in the main deck because we have Burning Abyss, and like Shared Ride's pretty awful against them, I think. Unless they already have Dante's on board and you right kick them or something, and then like you get to draw a card. Well, draw 2 cards. They do play Void Temple in the OCG. I thought it was pretty cool, so I just kept it in. It's pretty cool against Shaddolls because this gives you an easy enough out, I guess. And also in the OCG, they play cards like Debunk and Mind Crush. Actually, Mind Crush is played at 3 actually. From what the list I took this from was, I didn't want to put it in because it was kind of bad against Shaddolls and Burning Abyss, so I just figured just not to keep it in, just put it in other trap cards that just let you like not lose, I guess. So onto the profile. Tree Kama Itachi. He obviously has the effect of if he's normal summoned immediately after the effect resolves, you normal summon a Yosenju from your hand, and then if you control another Yosenju monster, you can target a face-up card your opponent controls and return to the hand. But you can only use that effect of Kamatachi once per turn, only once that turn, and then during the end phase, if he was normal summoned, you add him back to the hand. Kamamatachi, he has the normal summoning effect, and when another Yosenju monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, which means if you have 2 Kamamatachi and just say Kamatachi, if Kamatachi inflicts battle damage, you get a search, but if Kamamatachi does damage, you don't. So he searches any Yosenju card from your deck to your hand, and then you can only use that effect of Kamamatachi once per turn. And then during the end phase, it goes back to your hand. Kamanitachi, he can attack your opponent directly, and when it does, any battle damage he does is halved. And then obviously he's put back to the hand. He's actually like the biggest of the level 4 guys, other than Tsuji Rikaze. But this guy lets you actually get out, like, ignore boards and just let you do your searching with Kamamatachi. Next we're running Magatsu Senran. He's pretty good to open because you basically get to keep your Yosenjus on board if you have the trap card, obviously. Usually the thing you do with this guy is that you normal summon, just say like Kamamatachi, and then you tribute him to get this to summon this guy, and then you special summon the Kamamatachi from your deck. And you do some pretty big damage because he's 2000 attack, but the only downside is he only has 100 defense. And also if he was special summoned that turn, you return him to the hand. So if you play cards like Soul Charge, he'll go back to your hand at the end phase. So next up is Tsuji Kirikaze. He's a Kalute for 1000, or when he's on the field, you target a Yosenju monster on the field and it gains 1000 attack until the end of the turn. He also has the effect of returning to the end phase, but he's the only one who doesn't let you summon another Yosenju in addition to your normal summon, which is kind of a downfall, but he is also a Kalute, so he's pretty good. Next we're playing Yosenju Saren's Shinchu. It's a pendulum, but you don't actually pendulum summon this deck. The only reason it's here is because you run the secret technique of the Yosenju, which is an Infernity Barrier, but you need to either control all your monsters have to be Yosenjus, or you have to have a face-up Yosenju card on the field. So this kind of just helps. Most people actually, like what I've seen, is only run the dieback for the pendulum, but I've decided to run Saren's Shinchu because it protects your monsters from things like Construct, or like just them getting destroyed by battle in general. Like if they bottomless torrential you can just save all your monsters, which is pretty good. I think it's just a lot more effective than dieback for getting search to have your secret technique live. The only problem is it just like it dies, and then you just can't get it back if you use its effect. But also, you can just get MST, so it doesn't really matter. 3 Fire Formation Tenki for the spells. It's pretty good because all of your monsters are Beast Warriors except the Siren Shinshus and this guy, but you can't search him anyway because he's not level 4. So yeah, you can your entire deck is open with Tenki. So this gives you lots of consistency. And then we're running 3 Mystical Space Typhoon to counter Cliffworts and cards like Vanity's Emptiness, like Floodgates. We're running 1 Raigeki and also 3 Pot of Duality. This deck doesn't really special summon that much unless you're summoning Magatsu Senran. But most of the time you're just going to be beating down your opponent with your little monsters and then just getting searches. So it's still a pretty good card in the deck. The only problem is just drawing multiple Pot Dualities is pretty awful at times, but you kind of have to play it for consistency. A card you can replace for this is Forbidden Lance if you really wanted to. Next we're running up for traps, a Bottomless, a Compulsory Evacuation Device, a Torrential, and a Solemn Warning. Reason we're running Torrential is because you never really have a board, because all of your monsters go back to the hand and end phase anyway, so Torrential Tributes will really react. It's like a reactive Raigeki, I guess, because whenever your monster just puts up monsters on board, you can just like break the board with the Torrential, and also just gives you more board clearing presence. In the future you'd probably be taking out the Compulse because it's pretty awful next format, I think, but it's up to your own opinion. For 2 of Traps, I don't think we do play any 2 of Traps, so we're just gonna go to the 3 of Traps. 3-dimensional prison, you're not gonna have any monsters on board ever, so you kind of need to have protection. So that's why I decided with 3 deep prison. And then 3 secret technique of the Yosenju. This is probably the main card of the deck. It's an Infernity Barrier while you control a Yosenju card, and all face-up monsters you control, if any, are Yosenju monsters. So basically, you don't really need to have a Yosenju monster on board, you just need to have a face-up Yosenju card. And then you negate the activation of a spell trap or monster effect and destroy it. So this card's really, really good, because it just lets you disrupt your opponent's plays, and then just go for game most of the time. Well, not even game, just like poke them down even more. And then the thing is that it's a searchable Infernity Barrier that's even more accessible than Archfiend. So I find that pretty good. Then we got Solemn Warning. Actually, we already said that. 3 Vanity's Emptiness and then 3 Void Trouble. 3 Vanity's Emptiness is pretty staple in this deck, I feel, because you don't really special summon anyway, like I said before. So it's pretty good. And also, if they MST your Siren Shinshu, your vanities won't die, so it's pretty good. Void Trouble. This is probably the weirdest card in the deck, but you can just replace it for whatever you feel like. If you don't know what it does, when your opponent special summons a monster with 2,000 or more attack, negate the effect of one of those monsters with 2,000 more attack, and if you do, destroy it. So basically, if your opponent just say Pendulum summons a lot of Cliffworts, and just say you're on the skill drain, you can just Void Trouble one of the monsters just so you don't die. Or if your opponent summons a Window Construct, you negate the Construct's effect and destroy it. You negate Window's effect to not be destroyed by card effects and you destroy it. So it's just a very versatile card. The only problem is it's just weak to Cliffworts, I guess. But it's not really weak if they Tribute Summon. Tribute Summon disc, I guess, but other than that, it's just like pretty good, like awful against other decks. It's pretty bad against Burning Abyss, I'd say, because they never summon anything with 2,000 attack. So you probably wouldn't be playing this, but by the time this deck's out, I don't think anyone's gonna be playing Void Trouble anyway. So yeah, onto the extra deck. We're running Abyss Dweller, Karn Gorgon, Castel, Emerald, Direwolf, Exiton, Cowboy, Gemini Pearl, Lavaval Chain, Lightning Chidori. All your monsters are wind, I think. All of them? Yeah, they're all wind. So Chidori is pretty accessible in the deck. I'd say you'd probably take out some of the extra deck cards in here just to just to like put in more space for Chidori. We're running a Maestroke just for variety. A 101, a Ragnar Zero, a Diamond Crab King. This card's coming out I think the exact same time as the Secret Forces was released. It's released in the 6th Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal manga. And it's pretty cool. It's like it's like an acid golem and a Dante in one. So if you don't know what it does, you detach an exceed material from him. His defense becomes 0, but his attack points become 3,000, and the changes last until the end of the turn. And then if he attacks, it's changed to defense position at the end of the battle phase, so just like Dante. And then if it's attacked while it has no exceed materials, it's changed to attack position at the end of the damage step. So basically, it's just a really big beater and also a really big wall for only 2 monsters. So it's an acid golem, but just a lot better. Then the last Exceed monster we're running is a Rhapsody in Berserk. Again, like I said, you can just take out a lot of the cards in here. I'm just showing cards you can use in Necro deck. I'd say the cards that are the most important are just the Castel 101 and Chidori. Chidori probably being the highest priority because I think it's pretty good for the upcoming format. But it's up to your belief. This isn't actually a slide deck, but this is cards that you just can like use. So cards like Bear, Gorilla, Dieback, Book of Moon, Dark Hole. Dark Hole's pretty good in the deck because you don't have a board. So this is the same reasoning for Torrential. You don't ever need your graveyard in the deck, so Dimensional Fissure is pretty good. Divine Wind and Mist Valley, to go back to your monsters go back to your hand at the end of the turn and draw a wind. So this is a card you might be wanting to play. Gyoko could be played if you're running Bear or Gorilla. Snatch Steal could be played. I just didn't put it in because it's not quite the next format yet, and I still don't know how I feel about the card. Soul Charge can be played. Yokai Shrine of Trials. Only problem with this card is that the deck isn't like a fast-paced deck that it just summons a bunch of monsters in one turn, like 6 samurais. Like this is like a gateway for the turn, but it's not as good as gateway, because if this, like the searching part of the effect, if that was 2 counters instead of 3, this card would be a lot better. But also, it's not a Yosenju card, it's just Yokai Shrine of Trials, so you can't either search it off Kamamitachi, or you can't even like activate Secret Technique under it. So I don't feel it's necessary in the deck. Next you can run Dust Tornado in the main deck. Some Clifford players actually main 3 Dust Tornado. I feel it's a pretty good card. You can run also Wiretap if you want to. Just more things you just use to disrupt your opponent. Tensen, of course, with the Bear, Gorilla, or Tiger King, if you want to run that in your extra deck. Macrocosmos, same thing with D-Fissure, and then same thing with Soul Drain. I feel Soul Drain could probably be main decked in this deck because it's killer against Burning Abyss, Shadalls, and Neclots, so it might be pretty good. So yeah, this is my deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy it, and sorry for being away for like ages. Next deck profile will probably be a Necros deck profile, and then a Ritual Beast Tamer. Not sure about the dates for those videos. They'll probably be up as the format continues. Well, the format starts and just develops. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my deck profile, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!